If you were born in the early 2000s like myself, there's a high chance that video games played a pretty significant role in your early years. All types of games, from Minecraft to Mario Kart, Flash games to educational games, the list is massive. Since their inception, video games have mostly been a sedentary activity. Sure, you could be running fast in 3D worlds, fighting dragons, jumping off cliffs, soaring through skies, but don't let all the action fool you, because in reality, you're just sitting there for hours on end, barely moving your phalanges while hours upon hours of your life melt away. Until one day, when everything you knew about gaming was about to change. I'm making this video not just for a uni assignment, okay, but also because I genuinely really loved these games, and for many years there, in my growing years, I absolutely loved Just Dance and couldn't stop playing these games. They were fantastic to me. However, I do of course believe that the series has fallen off since its inception, and the games just aren't what they used to be. But instead of me just saying that, I'm going to talk a bit about that with some facts and logic. But first, a brief history into my backstory with the Just Dance games. Enjoy. It begins on my 9th birthday in 2011, when my parents bought me a Nintendo Wii.
Wow, what is it?
It's a Nintendo Wii! Not that I need to Wii. Maybe I will because I'm so excited. Stop that.
I'd play many games on this, including Wii Sports Resort, Mario Kart, and Super Mario Galaxy. Now, we lived close to a DVD rental store called Video Easy. Of course, it's practically defunct now, but at the time I'd go there often with my parents and rent movies like Inspector Gadget while my parents got The Dark Knight. But there also happened to be a game section including Wii titles, and amongst all the grey and drab titles of the day, Just Dance 2 sat. The crazy neon colours sticking out to me like nothing I'd ever seen before, and I instantly begged my mum to rent it. At first, she said no, and I was gutted, of course. Probably threw a few temper tantrums there as well, wouldn't be surprised. But there was always the chance she'd say yes next time. That didn't happen though. In fact, she'd said no so many times I genuinely couldn't comprehend why. But turned out she'd been saying no all this time because she'd actually bought the game for me as a Christmas gift, which was a pretty wicked plot twist I somehow did not see coming. And boy did I have some fun playing Just Dance 2 in those early days. I'd played quite a lot of games at this point, but this was the first time I'd ever actually feel immersed in a game. Like I wasn't just playing one, but actively a part of it. This continued for the next 6 years, where I'd get incredibly excited for each new entry in the series and buy them as soon as they released. Just Dance 2 to Just Dance 2018, from Wii to Wii U, from 9 years old to 15 years old, and it didn't bother my parents because the games were physically intensive, and as long as I was getting some form of exercise, it'd be fine. These games are also the reason I still find dancing to this day incredibly fun and appealing, and why I still make videos around the topic like improv dancing, even if it has nothing to do with the Just Dance games themselves. As the later games became harder to get on Wii U, I had to decide if I wanted to buy them on PS4, and ultimately, I figured it wouldn't be the same. So I skipped out on many releases, but eventually bought 2021 digitally on the PS4 shop a little while back in a half-hearted attempt to experience some form of nostalgia. And then with the release of Just Dance 2023, all future games would be next-gen only. So I would have to upgrade consoles yet again to play these. Of course, I had no interest. The damage had been done by this point. Wow! You're still here. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much for still being here. Now, why don't we take a look at the actual objective public history of the Just Dance games. 2009, Just Dance 1 was released exclusively for the Nintendo Wii on the 17th of November in North America, the 26th of November in Australia, and the 27th in Europe. The game used the motion controls of the Wii Remote, which would be the main controls of the game as you'd work to copy the dancer on screen, following their moves and scoring points based on your accuracy, with 33 fairly well-known songs to appeal to a casual gaming audience. The game ended up selling really well, prompting a sequel from Ubisoft the following year. 2010. Just Dance 2 released on the 12th of October with 48 tracks this time round. Still exclusively for the Wii, the game improved on many aspects of the first, adding duet dances, more game modes like Simon Says, updated visuals, and DLC courses that could be bought for an additional cost. The game ended up selling really well, prompting another sequel from Ubisoft the following year. 2011. Just Dance 3 releases on Wii, Xbox 360 and PS3 on the 7th of October, containing 49 tracks, with all types of tracks including popular songs like Dynamite and Take On Me, as well as other stuff like Nightboat to Cairo and Da Funk by Daft Punk. This game once again improved on the visuals of the last game, as well as added a ton of new content, including quartets, mashups, and sweat routines. It sold incredibly well, prompting another sequel the following year, and I think you get the point by now. I could continue recounting the history of the games each year, but we'd be here for donkey's ages. Point is, these games thrived in their early years, being at the pinnacle of gaming innovation when motion controls ruled the world and were the hot new thing. As long as each game improved on the previous and added enough content and changes to feel like a fresh game, different from the last, the series was guaranteed for success. It's 2023 now, believe it or not, and Ubisoft have released 15 of these games. And that's just the mainline stuff. That's not even including the countless spin-off games like Just Dance Japan, Just Dance Kids, Just Dance on Broadway, Just Dance the Michael Jackson edition, Just Dance the Smurfs edition, Just Dance the Disney edition, Black Eyed Peas edition, ABBA edition, Just Dance Now, Call of Dance, Black Ops. Okay, I made that last one up, but still. Why are there so many spin-offs? So I thought, why not just rank them in the tier list? The main 15 games of the series, from Just Dance 1 to Just Dance 2023, I'll give you guys my honest and quite honestly biased opinions about these games in an unscripted form, right here, right now. Let's do it! Well look, for me, Just Dance 1 is B tier. There's a lot of things about this game that I enjoy. The fact that the track lists are pretty much composed of absolute bangers, but the graphics are still pretty lackluster, and there's a lot to be desired within the gameplay here. It's a pretty simple game, pretty standard. For me, Just Dance 2 has to be an A tier, without a shadow of a doubt. This game brings me so much nostalgia. It just improves on the first game in so many ways, and it's great fun. But Just Dance 3 easily has to take the cake in being better than the other two. It does everything that the first two do well, even better, with more great tracks, more game modes, a system where you can actually unlock more songs called Mojo, and melodies, which were sick. Just Dance 4 is on the same tier as Just Dance 2. I feel like this game innovated the series in the same way that Just Dance 2 innovated from 1. It was a big improvement. It's not S because I feel like there were some elements about 4 that were dialed down a bit. It didn't feel quite as fun as 3 or quite as light-hearted, but it still managed to do a lot well. It innovated massively, the graphics were better, the modes were great, battle mode was very fascinating, nothing that we'd seen in Just Dance before, and yeah, I mean, Just Dance 4 just innovated on the other ones in so many ways, and you've got to respect that, man. But again, Just Dance 2014 takes the cake at beating Just Dance 4 in so many ways, bro. This game is just fire. It has the most, I think, routines in any Just Dance game, and for that, that is already commendable enough. And it just improves on 4 again in every way. It's just more fun, the songs are cleaner, the visuals are cleaner, there's more variety of routines, the extremes are great fun as well. There's just a lot to love about Just Dance 2014. Just Dance 2015 I'm putting in C. I just don't think it's as good as the other ones. Fairly underwhelming, a bit lackluster in content. Not necessarily a bad game, but just a little disappointing. Just Dance 2016 is B tier for me, same as Just Dance 1. It improves on 15, but doesn't quite reach the levels of 4 or 2014. It has a ton of modes, it includes the World Dance Floor, just like the previous two did. But this track list here is a little bit dead, and a little bit dated, and the visuals also are not the best. Just Dance 2017 for me is A tier, it just improves on 16 again, and the colours are pretty crazy. as well. A lot of new modes here as well with the Just Dance machine. That was really fascinating. Of course, you have the World Dance Floor, return of the mashups, the World Video Challenge, dance quests, just a lot of things in this game. I think content-wise, it doesn't have as many routines as 2014, but man, the different styles of gameplay you have in this game are pretty massive, and I have to say, I don't know that a single Just Dance game has come close to reaching the same levels of, I guess, content or gameplay styles as this one. Just Dance 2018 is D tier because it sucks. It's not a good Just Dance game. Why? Just play it. Just play it, even just once. You'll see. You'll understand. This is also where they start to focus on really dumbing down the routines and including a lot of like kid-style choreographies for songs. This is also the last game that I bought every year because at this point it did just feel like all the magic had been lost. There was nothing special about them anymore. 2019 I've not played, but it's D tier because the track list was pretty underwhelming. Putting Just Dance 2020 in C tier because it improves on 19 by having more fun routines and more interesting stuff. Just Dance 2021 is B tier because it improves on 2020 in a lot of ways. I actually do own this game. This is the last Just Dance game that I own. And it's good fun. The routines are enjoyable enough. I play this on PS4 and I think that it's fine enough. Unlimited will also keep you busy. That's pretty much where the compliments end. I just can't say this game reaches the same appeal to me as some of those very early games. Just Dance 2022 is in C tier for me. Don't play it, haven't owned it. I just feel like at this point, the game is like 60% songs that are international, so non-English speaking songs. And while there's not necessarily anything wrong with that, I'm all down for a bit of cultural diversity in a Just Dance game. The problem is I feel like it means that a lot of the more well-known songs and more enjoyable songs get shoved to the side, and we just don't get it to have as much fun with knowing the songs that we're playing and looking forward to seeing epic songs in this game. That, or I just don't listen to mainstream music anymore. That could also very much be the case. And then finally, Just Dance 2023 I'm putting in C as well. I feel like it's just a repetition of Just Dance 2022. I won't be playing it anytime soon. If I really am interested in a routine, I might dance to it on a YouTube video, but that's it. That's my definitive ranking of all the mainline games. Just Dance 2024 is not on this list because it hasn't come out at the time of making this, but who cares? It'll be probably C or D as well. Alright, back to the next part of this video. The Just Dance series' rise to fame can be attributed to a number of things, including the fact that in its early days it was something not really done before. Of course, video games based around dance had existed in the form of the Dance Dance Revolution series created by Konami in the late 90s and early 2000s. Gameplay of which revolved around stepping on the correct arrows in beat, which, hot take, is not actually dancing. The Just Dance games actually revolutionized the way dancing games could be played and would be played. Instead of stepping on the arrows of a dance pad, players simply follow the real dance moves that are portrayed in the games, and players use their entire bodies to engage in real dancing. Current game consoles use motion sensing technology to allow players to freely dance as they play. Each entry in the series felt like a completely new experience, as they should, with different dance styles and song genres added each release, providing fresh and fun gameplay that would keep players interested for many years. Online multiplayer was also added in 2014 with the form of the World Dance Floor, allowing players to compete against others in real time as a mix of routines played unanimously around the world. This mode stuck around for many games, with its strange and sudden absence in JD 2023 being one of the many signs of decline for this series. Were those early games really that good though? By using nostalgia theory, a concept created by academics, essentially referring to the study of nostalgia, we can find out. But first, we have to understand exactly what nostalgia is. One source states that the term nostalgia was mentioned for the first time in the year 1688 by physician Johannes Hofer, describing a negative mental state and neurological disease of Swiss mercenaries who were fighting for different monarchs far away from home. Essentially, they were seen as living in the past and unable to focus on the present and/or look forward to the future. Yes, this is still a Just Dance video. However, the notion of nostalgia shifted through the course of the last century from a negatively associated affliction to a positive concept, inherently connected with positive emotions. Nostalgia nowadays is seen as a positive reimagining of the past and a longing for the things in it, mostly memories and experiences, but it can be quite broad. Texts and paratexts in general refer quite simply to the relationship between a thing and everything that evolves around it. And while the definition of a text used to refer to a book or novel, nowadays the meaning of text is much broader. German literary historian Georg Stanisek states that in this cultural text, articulations, readings, and their media appear inseparably linked to each other and refer to each other in varying historical constellations. Among the word vomit is a very truthful statement there about how ambiguous the definitions of things are becoming in a society and culture as sick and corrupted as our own. But if that's the definition of a text, then a paratext is anything that infers meaning from it. It's a text about the text. So if Just Dance was the text, for example, things like game reviews, people's gameplay, YouTube comments, this video are paratexts. So, having said that, and with that context in mind, why don't we take a look at some of the more recent Just Dance paratexts? 90% of sales for Just Dance 2021 in the UK have been for Nintendo Switch. Look, I mean, that makes sense to me. The series did start on Wii and was always targeted towards younger casual gamers, most of whom would be more likely to own a Switch than a PS5 or an Xbox Series X. Ubisoft, Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope and Just Dance 2023 underperformed. Well, that one doesn't surprise me. Again, probably because they made it a next-gen exclusive, because the only people who want to play casual party games are pro gamers with the newest tech. We'll just ignore the fact that a Just Dance game released on the Wii in 2019, a console that came out over 16 years ago, just so avid Wii fans wouldn't have to upgrade their Wii in 2019. It didn't even release on Wii U because that console was such a massive failure that it'd be like GTA 5 coming out exclusively on PS3 and PS5 at the same time, but not the PS4, because screw you! Oh, and they also reduced the number of songs on their paid streaming service from over 700 to 150 at launch. Gotta love Ubisoft, man. Let's give the players less content for the same great price. One Reddit user saying that charging people the same amount for less content turned people away? Sounds like cover for Ubisoft to scale back development further and kill the franchise. Honestly, possibly. I mean, the reviews don't seem to suggest otherwise.
What they're trying to do is innovative. Kinda-ish. It's not even a fucking full game yet. What they're doing is they put like 7 songs on it. As the game goes through its development phase, they're gonna add more music and shit. Great.
Cultural capital refers to two different things. The first, a term coined by French sociologist Pierre Bourdieu in 1977, where the education, knowledge and intellectual skills of a person provide social mobility in achieving a higher social status in society. In other words, the more cultures that you've experienced, the more of an advantage that puts you at in achieving things. But this isn't the type of cultural capital we'll be talking about today. You see, in game and media studies, cultural capital refers to the relevancy of something. So the more a game or game series is talked about by the wider community, either through social media or word of mouth, the higher the cultural capital that game has. This isn't necessarily always a good thing, however. Look at Cyberpunk 2077, which on release had massive cultural capital for all the wrong reasons. People were talking about how broken the game was. Same with No Man's Sky, Lord of the Rings Gollum, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, but this is a Just Dance video. The older games felt special, like each song meant something. The newer games treat the song list the same way streaming services treat their content, barely giving any time or attention to them because apart from 1 or 2 cool songs, they know you're just going to go back to playing the classics anyway. One commenter on the Just Dance wiki said, "I've been replaying Just Dance 2016 recently, and I could not agree more. That track list aged like absolute milk. That game really panders to a very specific time period in 2015, and if you aren't in said time period, the track list feels awkward and chuggy." That's a pretty accurate statement. Look, I could yap on all day about the history of these games, alright, and how I feel about them. But there's no point doing that without at least gathering some sort of public evidence of these games. So, I decided to head down to the University of Wollongong in Wollongong and interview some people on the street, on the campus, and see what they had to say about the Just Dance game!
Harry, what do you think of Just Dance?
I played it back when it was on the Wii in, I believe, 2010.
That's a long time ago. Did you enjoy the game, and have you played any others since?
I have not. I've looked at other Just Dance games, but they've never convinced me to buy them. But back in the day, I was getting active to it.
I'm just interviewing people, seeing if they've ever played a Just Dance game. Have you?
I have, yeah.
And what did you think of it?
I mean, it was really fun.
Hey, what do you think of Just Dance, man?
I think it's alright. Kind of fun. Played it back on the Wii.
Do you know about it now?
No, I traded it out for Beat Saber.
Ooh, so you don't play Just Dance anymore?
No.
How come?
Mid.
You ever played Just Dance?
Yeah, I've played it a few times. I've dabbled.
No, but I've practiced on YouTube.
Yeah, I used to play it, like, we used to do it in primary school.
Oh yeah, was that the actual game or was that YouTube?
I think it was YouTube.
Or have any of you guys played Just Dance?
No. Yeah.
Yeah, in the past.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
Would you play it again?
No.
What about you? Have you played it?
Why would you not play it again?
Because I can't pull it off the same way.
Oh, yeah. We're older and less mobile.
Okay, fair enough. Well, thank you guys. That's all I needed.
If we're at a house, someone pulls it out, I'm on it. Like, I'll play it.
Hey, Carl. Person I've never met before. You ever played Just Dance?
Like once at a party.
Oh yeah, and how did you find it?
It wasn't that good, eh? I was forced to play some random dance I didn't like.
When was the last time you played a Just Dance?
Would have been about 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's more of a primary school thing, so.
Maybe when I was finishing year 12, so like last year, yeah.
Okay, and would you ever play another one?
Yeah, I would. Like with new songs.
Or would you ever play another one?
Inshallah.
Is that no?
God willing.
You know how you did sport in school? You
Yeah.
couldn't go outside sometimes, it's raining. We
Yeah.
always did Just Dance.
Really?
Yeah, we did the... I forget what the song is, but it's one with the panda and the cowgirl.
Have you heard much from the Just Dance series since you last played?
Not really, no. I play like the old. I never bought like any of the newer ones.
I just know it's a game. I think it's a game where you just dance on. You compete against friends, I guess. Dancing,
Yeah.
following like what's on the TV.
That's accurate.
Yeah.
Do you have time for it? Would you ever play one?
Depends. Depends on like. I don't think I'd play it by myself. I'd play it with friends.
Yeah. If there's females to impress.
I feel that.
That's usually the only situation. It's a pretty boring game if I'm on my own. I'm never going to play it on my own. Like,
You know, they're fun to play sometimes, but probably not worth buying a whole new one.
So would you play the game again?
Probably not.
I don't know, maybe out of like a party or something, or a group
Yeah.
activity. Yeah.
There's got to be context for it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to quit gaming, but, I'm open to it.
Hey, I respect that, mate.
Exactly.
Did you ever play it outside of school?
There's like mandatory family things. It's like ABBA,
Yeah.
Just Dance, and
Yeah.
then like racing games. You just couldn't get out of them.
And have you played any of the games since?
No.
Have you considered playing any of the games?
No.
It feels like I'm trying to get people to buy Just Dance. That's not what this is.
I remember. You remember the final countdown?
Yes.
The one. There was one move, and they like rolled. And you have to jump over the other person.
Dude, that move was impossible. What sort of games do you normally play, if you play?
I don't really play. I play like my roommates in FIFA, but
Yeah.
that's it.
Do you play games at all?
Yeah.
What do you play games on? What console do you have?
PC.
Okay. Yeah, so you wouldn't be playing Just Dance. That's fair. Thank you for the feedback, Harry.
Anytime, Ronan.
What was your favourite song to dance to?
If they got Gundam style, I might think about getting it, but that's about it.
They do. Thanks for the interview, Carl. Meow. I don't know what that was.
Well, that was interesting to say the least. Also quite inconclusive. Though it seems as though most people viewed the games only as a fun primary school pastime. Incredible. Nowadays, only the most hardcore fans of the series are still hanging on to it and paying the full AAA prices for these games. Just Dance is a very fun series that has a ton of unique features about it, and great fun if you're looking for a bit of exercise to spice up your gaming. But with the removal of many fan favourite game modes like the World Dance Floor, dance mashups and sweat routines, in addition to full gameplays of tracks being uploaded to YouTube for anyone to view and dance to at no cost, it's hard to find strong reasons to continue buying these games in 2023. I definitely feel like I'm in the minority with Just Dance 2021 on the PS4. Playing with my phone is not an enjoyable experience, but I want to try and regarner some of that nostalgia either way. Could things change with the recent release of 2024? Who knows? But based on all the facts, it seems quite unlikely. Who knows what the future of the Just Dance series holds, and if the franchise will even still be alive and kicking in another 5 to 10 years.
Only time will tell.
If you guys enjoyed this video, thanks for watching. Leave a like and subscribe. And you can get more great content like this coming soon. But look, it's not just about me. What do you guys think of Just Dance? Leave a comment below sharing your experience with the series and whether or not you'd play or buy any of the new ones. I'm genuinely very intrigued and curious to know your responses. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.
Hey, do you guys mind being in a YouTube video real quick?
I'll say, are we all good?
Oh, all good, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.